Hey guys, so this is going to be my 1 week postpartum update, and I'm going to try to do this really fast. Right now, I am home alone or almost alone. Evangeline is like in front of me and asleep, and I'm just going to try to make this super quick before she wakes up. So for this first week postpartum, I spent 2 days in the hospital after the C-section, and everything went smoothly. They let me get up the day after the surgery, like just about 24 hours after I'd had the surgery, a little bit earlier actually. They let me get up, and getting up was super painful, and yeah, it was awful, but all in all, I have felt a lot better. You guys know I was dreading postpartum after having this C-section. I was really scared. I was really nervous because I knew of what it felt like last time. I was just really not looking forward to the pain. And I've been super surprised. Like, everyone who told me that your second C-section is a lot easier was completely 100% right, in my case at least. My second C-section was so much easier. If you guys have not watched my delivery story, you check that out. The delivery was smooth, it was painless, it was awesome. I had a great birthing experience. Having a second C-section, I had a great, like, right after birth experience. It was just a wonderful experience this time around. Eventually, the pain did kick in, and I was on the morphine drip for 24 hours after the surgery, and it did make me groggy, but it wasn't as bad as last time. It gave me a little bit of issues nursing, just because I was so out of it. I honestly could hardly keep myself awake to keep her nursing and to keep her latched properly, and just all kinds of crazy. So Sam had to help me a lot, like right after the surgery, because I was just so out of it from being doped up. But it was remarkable. This week has been remarkable in how much better I have felt compared to how I thought I was going to feel. Bleeding wise, it's been the minimum. I lost a lot of blood during the surgery, so I don't know if that is affecting my postpartum bleeding or not, but I have had very minimal bleeding since I left the hospital. By the time I came home from the hospital, it had got down to just spotting, and it has pretty much stayed consistent the whole week. When it became exactly a week, I did bleed heavier, but I think that was because I was more active that day, because 1 week exactly after I had Evangeline, we were going to the airport to see Sam's off. If you all don't know, he is gone, and he will be gone for 6 months. So, I don't want to cry. So I did bleed heavier that day, but for this first week, bleeding has been very minimal. Like, I almost don't even want to wear a pad because I feel like I'm wasting them. But at the same time, I'm afraid that the time that I decide to not put one back on is when I might start to bleed heavier again. Pain-wise, okay, so for 1 week postpartum, it's, like I said, right after the surgery, once my spinal wore off, and in getting on the morphine drip, I was hurting, and it hurt pretty bad for the first 24 hours, and then the second day in the hospital, it was a lot more tolerable. And coming home, I've taken the painkillers. I'm getting to a point where I don't feel like I need them as much, but I have been taking them just because I know from last time that not taking them and letting myself get to the point where I'm hurting so bad that I am crying does nothing good for me, and it does not help my baby. So I am taking the painkillers, but I feel like come the second week, I'll be in a better position and able to completely remove them, which is hopefully a good thing because I don't have that many left, and there's no refill. So once those are gone, those are gone. But they don't make me, I don't think it's the same thing that he gave me last time, actually, but they make me sleepy, but they don't make me as sleepy and out of it as whatever I had after I had Abrielle did. So, also for this first week, I am breastfeeding. She has had no formula she, I don't know. I think I'm going to do a separate video talking about breastfeeding for the first week, because there's a lot more to it, and I really don't think I have a whole lot of time, which is why I'm talking fast and I'm kind of jumping around. So, getting out the staples was totally painless. It doesn't hurt. It's like you might feel a little pinch every once in a while. Those came out after a week. No big deal. Doctor said everything's looking good. And we did talk about a comment that he had made during the surgery, like right before he told Sam that he could peek over the curtain if he wanted and watch her being born. He was like, wow, that's really thin. And I remember asking what, and nobody answered me. So I did bring that up to him, and he was like, I was referring to your uterus. And I was like, okay, well, what does that mean? He was like, we made the right call. I was like, what do you explain? You're freaking me out again. And he was like, well, we made the right decision. He really, I mean, I had the option, to try for the VBAC if I wanted, and different things led us to the decision to just not even try to do another planned C-section. And honestly, my doctor, that was what he wanted me to do. That was what he said he felt was the safest and probably the best option for my situation. So in the end, he said, that we had made the right decision, that my uterus was really thin. It didn't take nothing to break through that. And he said that more than likely, if I would have labored with this pregnancy, it would have ruptured and things would have been a lot worse, and I would have wound up on that table anyway. So, hearing that wasn't as depressing this time around as hearing it the first time around, because that's pretty much exactly what he told me with Abrielle, that either way I would have wound up on that table. It wouldn't have mattered. It just, circumstances could have been worse than what they were. So I'm really glad I had a C-section. I don't have any feelings of guilt this time. I don't have any regrets about it. I'm actually okay and proud of my decision. It was what worked for me. It was what worked for my baby. It was what was safest. It was the best decision for our family. So I like that this time around I'm coming out of delivery and I'm feeling a lot better about what I decided, and how things went. Feeling wise, let's talk about that. So I had a lot of problems with postpartum depression after I had Abrielle, and so far I have had none with Evangeline. And I think it's partly because I'm too busy. I do not have time to be depressed. I have a newborn baby that nurses like every hour to 2 hours, and I have a 15-month-old toddler. So I don't have time to be sad. And, I have feelings, I have moments, like when I think about the fact that Sam's not here, it upsets me, but I just don't have a lot of time to dwell on it. So I feel like all I can do is just acknowledge it and let it go, and move on and go on with my day and do the best I can. And, in a few months, everything's going to even out, and it's not going to be as hard, and things are going to get better. So that's why I just keep telling myself that it's going to get better. She's going to sleep longer. Sam will be home. It's going to work somehow, some way. So I think that is pretty much it. I will take off this top because it is flowy, and I just totally spaced out, and plus I looked at Evangeline because I thought I saw her move, but apparently it was just, I don't know, me glancing around. Anyway, I will take off this top because it's kind of flowy, and I've got a candy underneath anyway, and I will try to find a spot in my home with some really good light right now, and I will show you guys my belly and my incision, and we will be done, and I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.